Somewhere beyond the sea, a sequel directed by Krasinski. The Abbott family has a plan that goes tits up when Marcus gets his foot in a trap. And somewhere beyond the sea, Reagan says, listen to me, I can take this hearing device and kill all the creatures in the world and save them somewhere beyond the sea. This sequel sure was something that they thought would be really good, but it was more like DLC. Somewhere beyond the sea, A Quiet Place Part 2 that came back all the way in 2021. Written and directed by John Krasinski. He has a brief role in the beginning of this film because he died at the end of A Quiet Place Part 1. It was actually just A Quiet Place. They didn't realize they were going to do a Part 2 until that movie was wildly successful, and so they decided to do Part 2. I'm watching Part 3 or Day 1, a spin-off, whatever. They're just going to get into an interconnected universe where soon we're going to go to the goddamn planet. We're going to see the creatures just chopping up vegetables and everything, and then they're going to realize, hey, wait, we like the taste of humans better. We're going to go here. I mean, honestly, I don't really know what else they can do in Day 1, but we'll find out. You'll probably find out by the time this review goes up. But I decided to dive into the previous two films because I wanted to see if there was anything that I forgot about the first one or this one. Now, this is a Redux review because I did review it initially. It was actually the first movie that I saw since the pandemic hit. The last movie I saw, by the way, before theaters got shut down was Bloodshot. Yeah, that terrible Vin Diesel superhero movie. So, I do initially remember wanting to like this movie more than I did because I thought the opening was great. And then, unfortunately, when it comes to sequels, you either have ones that kind of tread water, you have ones that are really, really good that take the concept, jump off, and then you have other ones that do something kind of neat to hook you and then tunnel back in and go to sleep. And that's pretty much what this one did. While trying to expand the universe, you also realize that, there isn't really much more that we need to find out. These creatures hunt by sound. We don't need to know why they're here. We need to know how they die. But honestly, if A Quiet Place had just been a standalone movie, probably would have been better. But then again, money. Money, 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 money. So, Emily Blunt once again returns as Evelyn. You have Millicent Simmons, who, by the way, is real life deaf and making the most of her career. I hope she gets more roles because actually she was pretty good. Pretty much the only standout in these particular movies. She plays Reagan. And then you have Noah Jupe-Badoop, who plays Marcus, who gets incapacitated easily. You have Cillian Murphy, or however the fuck you say it. Prolific actor. He was in Oppenheimer, which, yeah, that was a movie. So, in the immediate aftermath, we see the Abbott family take off for help because, well, in addition to the basement basically flooding and their farm being fucked and Lee being not able to fix things on account of being dead because the kids are really goddamn stupid, they still have the baby, that annoying little shit baby that won't shut up, and my God, you're stupid for getting pregnant during an apocalypse. What the fuck is wrong with you? So yeah, trying to protect her kids, basically, Marcus gets caught in a bear trap trying to run away. And yeah, then they get trapped somewhere, or they're stuck somewhere in this area that Emmett happens to have, as housing, so to speak, as like an old industrial warehouse, complete with a furnace / safe, whatever. And you can't be in there too long because the oxygen levels will run out. And then Reagan hears something on the radio because they could get a better radio signal, not in the valley like when they were in the Appalachian Ridge in the on their farm. She hears Beyond the Sea by Bobby Darin. Bet you didn't know that I knew the name of that. I actually was going to perform that song at a talent show, but as you can hear, I clearly have no vocal talents at all. At all. Now, nevertheless, Reagan realizes, hey, wait a second, I can take my hearing device and I can go here, and I can make sure that I'll find a boat and I'll get going. But she takes off, and Evelyn, on account of wanting to take care of her stupid kid getting his foot caught in a trap, and oh yeah, the little baby shit that just wants to keep goddamn living. How dare you be born during the apocalypse? I don't hate children, by the way, except I kind of do because children annoy the hell out of me. I was completely turned off to the idea of ever wanting to have children for this reason. I worked at a movie theater and I saw the absolute worst of children. And even though children deserve to be raised in a loving home, I could not provide that because I would go insane. I don't like sitting in traffic for more than 5 minutes. Anyway, speaking of which, we get to see traffic in the beginning of this movie. But before I talk about that, let's talk about the fact that this movie had a $47 million opening, and considering that the pandemic, was still kind of in full swing, by the way, and this shit's always going to be around, despite what people think. $47 million opening, $3 million less than the first one, but pretty damn good. $60 million budget. Where did it go? Anyway, $160 million US and Canada gross, which is down about $28 million from the previous film, but still. And then it was like $341 million for the 2018 version, and this had just under $298 million worldwide for a gross. Pretty good. Pretty damn good, actually. People were willing to flock and figure out, hey, what's the chances of us being able to stay quiet and watch this movie? So, I did like the opening, though, aforementioned opening where Krasinski arrives. We see this news report where stuff's happening in Shanghai because these creatures, wherever they fucking came from, Mars, Venus, possibly Uranus, and they are attacking. But they haven't attacked any town USA yet. Well, they do during a Little League game. We see Emmett, who's an old family friend. He's got his kids and his wife, who end up dying later. Yeah, by the way, in case you didn't figure it out, this is a spoiler review because, well, this movie's been out for 3 years. And if you are planning on seeing the first movie, or seeing the third movie, that is, or spin-off movie, or whatever the fuck it is, technically, I guess the first one would be considered the third movie because we have this. Now we, you know what, whatever. It's fine. It's confusing. It's fine. There's a cop named Ronnie that we grow fond of for all 30 seconds before he ends up getting killed because Ronnie tries shooting armor-plated aliens. Good job there, Ronnie. You done good. Oh, you're dead, so we can't tell you that anymore. Okay, I did actually like how, they end the Little League game. Reagan and Lee take off. Lee, by the way, John Krasinski. They take off in his truck. Or they're about to, that is. He's parked a little bit away because I guess in Anytown, USA, Little League games clog up all the goddamn streets to the point that you can't park within about, I don't know, half a mile of the goddamn ballpark. And then again, in this town, I don't know what else they would have to do except watch a Little League game. They sure wouldn't get a wrestling event. Put a wrestling event here, you wouldn't draw 15 cents in Chinese money. But Evelyn takes off with the other two kids, Marcus and I believe Noah. The little shit that, by the way, got what he deserved with the rocket. You moron. So, I did like how we got the bus scene where, Evelyn's taking off with, we got the camera in the back. And the bus starts coming toward them, and the creature's coming out of the goddamn bus window that's broken and everything. See, community transit is bad, but I didn't realize it was this bad. Har har. And then, basically, they're hiding while Lee and Reagan are hiding. And yeah, it's just fine. They're hiding in a restaurant, and then suddenly somebody calls back, and damn AT&T causing more deaths than usual. And that's just based on their phone plans. Ha ha. Trust me, I know people that had AT&T, and some people get good deals, and other people get shafted horribly. So, yeah, we see people getting killed, wreckage, and after Lee and Reagan basically escape because the creatures are clumsy when they're trying to attack. I mean, I know that they're on a new planet, but they are not. How did they ever even manage to get out of wherever they sleep if they're that clumsy? And then we smash cut to next day, or current day, by the way, day 474. Literally, they're trying to pick up the pieces. Pick up the pieces. And all that stuff that happened with Reagan basically wanting to take the microphone, or take, the boombox, her hearing piece, and the microphone. And, 2 turntables and the microphone, and do that and scare the creatures. Yeah. So after Marcus gets his foot caught, she talks to Emmett, says, Emmett, my daughter took off, go help her. So yeah, there you go. I did kind of like them jumping in the giant pipe like it was Super Mario World. That was hilarious. But then he says, "You don't understand the people, what they become. These are people. These are not people worth saving." So there you are. From there, I mean, I got to be perfectly honest with all that setup. I mean, the great opening. And to this, we were about 40 minutes into the movie. And the movie's only like 97 minutes. And actually, I think once the end credits started, I think it's about 90 minutes. And we have spent almost half the damn movie showing what happened, showing them trekking to this particular place, not knowing that Emmett was still alive. And he doesn't want to help Reagan because he couldn't help his kids. He couldn't help his wife. And they moved here because their house wasn't working because the wife got sick and she kept screaming. And he, quite frankly, should have just said, "I'm going to put tape over your mouth, but not your nose, so you'll breathe. Stop getting upset when there are sound-hunting creatures out there, you dumb twat." But then again, she's dead. It's fine. Good. He doesn't have to worry about that. And then Reagan takes off. She ends up on like a stalled-out truck or a train car. Gets a medical kit. Is going to maybe do that, and then, because, you know, Marcus's leg is kind of screwed on account of him stepping in a bear trap stupidly. But then suddenly one of the creatures shows up, like he's a conductor. "Tickets, please, tickets." And then she uses the microphone thing, and it scares him, and then tries to shoot him. Shoots him, but not good enough to kill him. And she can't load the shotgun because she is not Courtney Love and doesn't understand how to deal with Kurt Cobain. This is going well. But then Emmett shows up and shoots her, conveniently. Apparently the creature just took about 8 years until he got there. And, yeah, he realizes, shit, she can't hear me. She basically says enunciate. Now, she can talk, by the way. The actress actually does speak. But on account of, A, you're not supposed to talk in this movie because of the sound, and also the fact that she's been deaf since infancy, I believe due to a medication issue. Some, I don't know, and I don't really care because it's not important for the purposes of this equation. She's making the most of her life, and good on her. I'm sorry this happened to her, but she's making the most of it. She says, "Help me, help you. Show me the ah." So yeah, they decide to. Emmett finds a boat, and they're going to go get that boat. But then some crazy, infected locals, kind of straight out of Bird Box, except this has slightly better writing than Bird Box. Actually, that's unfair. This has much better writing than Bird Box, because Bird Box and Bird Box Barcelona, everybody involved in producing those goddamn movies, they deserve nothing but hatred and scorn for what they did to horror. How dare you think that your filmmaker's doing that shit? How fucking dare you? So, that being said, they find Cletus, a slack-jawed yokel. They find a girl that's infected. See, that's why you don't trust kids. Again, you have a kid playing on a dock. Don't go towards it. Just step around. Maybe Jason will get her and drag her down, and then he can raise her as an unholy super, I don't know, person that can help him. Protege, that's what I was trying to think of. Let's just move on from that. So, Evelyn, meanwhile, is going back to the house, or at least back to the store that they used to frequent, to get medicine that somehow is still there. I know there aren't that many people left that want to go walking around, and they aren't as ingenious and as smart as these particular people trying to, survive. But goddamn, there are still some medical supplies at work about almost 2 years after this whole thing started, or about 1.5 years. Nevertheless, Marcus stumbles around on a very bad foot because Marcus is an intelligent individual. And then a creature gets lured back down there. There's a callback to something that happened at the particular Little League game, as opposed to a non-particular Little League game, where there was talk of diving. Wait, how do you say dive? And she does this. So Emmett does this. She takes a dive. He strangles a guy with this one, with some of these things, these bottles and this rope and stuff like that, and stabs him. So the creature attacks them, and then they realize, hey, wait a second, we're in the water. A creature tries to get in here, and oh my god, they can't swim. How did they not notice that before now? Oh wait, they did notice that, because then we find out a little bit later, by the way, crumpling up the notes because this movie is not good. Yeah, before they take a boat and they go to this island. Meanwhile, we find out that the sprinkler system that somehow still works in this dilapidated warehouse, shrieking Matt Hardy noises, it's not just for putting out fires, it's also to make noise, so Emily Blunt can do something. By the way, the oxygen is running out in the baby's thing. That's why you don't have a fucking baby. You just let it rot. In the apocalypse, it's fine. Take care of your children. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever, it's fine. Plus, Marcus isn't really worth saving either. I just want to say, these kids are stupid. Reagan's like the only intelligent one. Even Evelyn is not that smart. But that being said, one of the creatures can't swim or whatever. Straight out of the Whitney Houston playbook. And glub, glub, glub. Why am I like this? I don't know. Him and Reagan get to the island, and they're, going to ride it all night long. Jaimin Hanzu is there in a brief cameo. Yeah, the guy from Amistad, Deep Rising. Within a year, he was in both of those. He got an axe in the head in Deep Rising. Who's seen Deep Rising? Let me know if you're still watching at this point. I retro-reviewed Deep Rising. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. So they got there the day of. There were 12 boats ready to go out. Only 2 got out. Oh no, a second boat. Oh no, did the second boat go to another island? Are we going to get another one of these? Dear God, wait, we are going to get day 1. Maybe we'll get day 2. Maybe we'll get day 1,000. 1,000 years, well, never mind. So, Emmett basically hands him the hearing aid and says, here's what we're going to do. We use this, and we get the creatures. We can send out the signal. Sending out an SOS. Emmett earlier basically said he was nothing like Lee. But that Reagan is like Lee. She is determined like Lee. It's like be like Mike, be like Lee. Not like Spike Lee, because it has to be the hearing aids. Oh, and look, conveniently, a creature figures out how to just float on a boat that somehow gets there and then attacks everybody. Good job fucking up their paradise and everything, doing all that. Not only were they self-sufficient, you guys fucked it up. Good job. Good. You done good. Jaimin Hanzu gets killed, stupidly, after surviving all that. And then Emmett and Reagan get to the radio station, or the radio setup, or whatever. WKRP and Shriek-a-Natty, that's what it should have been called. And Evelyn and Marcus are trying to survive while the baby cries, because the baby's a little shit that won't shut up. Fine, it's fine. And Emmett distracts while Reagan puts the goddamn hearing aid on that and scares the creatures, and then she stabs the creature in the head, and then Marcus is holding the radio like Marcus has contributed anything positive to this whole experience. And they're going to kill the creatures, and they're going to fight back, and the creatures are going to leave, and they're going to say, we can't stand it, it's like hearing Bjork, and we don't even know what Bjork is, and we don't talk. Yeah, there you go, that's the end. That's A Quiet Place Part 2. How'd you like this Redux? Was that a lot more vicious? Probably. Agree, disagree, what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.